Most people don't train too little, they train too comfortably. I now do 2 working sets per exercise, spending about 45 minutes in the gym. And people always ask if that's enough. If those sets are actually hard for you, it is enough. If not, you can do 10 and it won't matter. Walk into any gym at 5 p.m. and you'll see the same thing. It's loud, it's crowded. People are moving, weights are clanking, and everyone looks incredibly busy. You'll see a guy over at the bench press. Yeah, he's been there for 30 minutes. He's done 5 half sets already. He's checking his phone, looking in the mirror, adjusting his belt. He looks like he's working hard. He'll leave 90 minutes later, his muscles full of blood, feeling like he's achieved something. But if you look at that same guy 6 months from now, he'll look exactly the same. His numbers won't have moved. His physique won't have changed. He's stuck in the most common trap in the fitness world. He doesn't train too little. He trains too comfortably. This is where most people mess it up. They've been lied to by a culture that values time spent over work done. They think that being in a gym for 2 hours is a badge of honor. It isn't. It's usually just an admission that you don't know how to actually push yourself. You're hiding in the volume because the volume is safe. The volume lets you feel productive without ever having to face the discomfort of real intensity. We're going to talk about why doing less is actually the only way most of you will ever get more jacked. Let's look at what that guy on the bench press is actually doing. We'll call him Chad. Chad has 4 sets of bench scheduled. Set 1 is a feeler. He's just getting the blood moving. Set 2 is his working weight, but he's managing his effort. He's at about 80%. He's thinking about the sets he has left, so he holds back. He doesn't want to burn out too early. The 3rd set's getting closer. He's starting to breathe a bit harder, but there's still 2 or 3 reps left in the tank. Then comes set 4. Now he's maybe pushing, but he's tired. Not from intensity, but from fatigue. He's accumulated so much junk volume that he's too exhausted to actually reach the point of failure where growth lives. He finishes 15 exercises, 20 sets per muscle group. He's got a great pump. He feels accomplished, but he never actually went hard on a single set. He spread moderate effort across 20 sets instead of concentrating real, concentrated intensity into 2. Moderate effort, no matter how much volume you stack on top of it, doesn't force your body to adapt. It just makes you tired. Your body is a survival machine. It doesn't want to grow muscles. Muscle is metabolically expensive. It's heavy. It's a burden. Your body will only build it if it's absolutely forced to. Now, if you're a complete beginner, you can get away with a lot. In the first few months, your body's so shocked by the gym that almost any stimulus will make you grow. But that honeymoon phase ends fast. Once your body realizes it isn't gonna die from a light workout, it stops changing. A set performed at 80% effort gives a seasoned body 0 reason to change. It says, I can handle this. I don't need to adapt. You're just filling time. And most people avoid intensity by hiding in volume. It's a way to feel like you're disciplined without actually having to do the hard thing. This reality becomes very clear when you stop living only in the gym. If the gym is your entire life, you can afford to lift for 90 minutes, but a lot of you don't have that luxury. You have a job, you have a family, you have a life that demands your presence. Maybe you're like me. Maybe you're doing cardio 3 or 4 times a week on top of your lifts. Maybe you're training for a marathon. When you start adding miles on top of your iron, you hit a wall very fast. There's no more room for BS. When you have to get a 5-mile run in after your upper body session, you start asking a question most lifters never do. Is this set actually doing anything? When you're a hybrid athlete, or just a busy man, you realize that every minute in the gym is a withdrawal from your recovery bank. If you spend 40 minutes doing fluff sets for your chest, you're just stealing energy from your runs, your work, and your sleep. Half effort starts feeling pointless. It starts feeling like a waste of your life. You're either pushing the sets that matter, or you're just filling time. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. You realize that most of what people do in the gym is just decorative. It's just noise. When lifting is the only thing you do, moderate sets are easy to tolerate. You finish the workout, you got a pump, you feel fine, and nothing feels wrong. But add a 5-mile run on top of that, and those same sets don't feel productive anymore. It just feels like you're tired for no reason. Let's get into the mechanics. What actually stimulates muscle growth? It isn't the number of sets. It's the recruitment of high-threshold motor units. Your muscle fibers need to be recruited hard enough that your nervous system sends a signal saying, "I almost failed. I need to get stronger to survive this next time." That signal only happens at the end of a set. It happens when the bar slows down. It happens when your brain is screaming at you to stop and you find a way to finish the rep anyway. Call it mechanical tension. Call it metabolic stress. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that moderate effort doesn't trigger it. Think about the math. One brutal set taken to actual failure creates more growth stimulus than 3 moderate ones. If Chad does 4 sets at 80%, none of them were hard enough to force an adaptation. He spent 4 sets hoping the total volume would trick his body into growing. It won't. Compare that to this. 1 warm-up set to get the joints lubricated, then 2 war sets. A set where you actually push to the limit, where the last rep takes 5 seconds to lock out. That second set forces your body to change. The first 4 sets Chad did were just fluff creating a pump. Most people think volume equals work. It doesn't. Intensity is what matters. Volume is just time spent avoiding the hard part. When I switched from 5 sets to 2, I had no choice other than to push real hard. You can't coast through a second set when you know there isn't a 4th or a 5th one coming to save you. You can't lie to yourself anymore. If you only get 2 opportunities to stimulate growth, you treat those opportunities with respect. You approach the bar differently. Your focus narrows. You stop looking at your phone. You stop talking to the person next to you. You realize that this is the only time today you're actually going to grow. What happened to me was simple. My strength went up, my sessions got shorter, my physique actually improved. And it wasn't just because I was doing less. It was because I was finally doing actual work instead of just filling the time. I stopped using volume as a cushion. Comfortable training lets you feel productive without changing much. It's easy to do 5 sets up pretty hard. It's terrifying to do 1 to absolute failure. Most people would rather add another hour to their gym session than face that 1 minute of true discomfort. They'd rather stay in a gym until 7 p.m. than find out how hard they're actually willing to push. So, how do you actually apply this? Starting tomorrow, I want you to cut your volume in half. If you usually do 4 sets, do 2. If you do 3, do 1. After a warm-up set, of course, but there's a condition. Those sets have to be honest. You need to pick a weight where you truly cannot do another rep with good form. Not, "I think I'm done." Not,
"This is getting heavy."
I mean, the weight stops moving. This removes the cushion. It tells you immediately what level you're at, and you might not like the answer. You might realize that you've been coasting for years. That's okay. Acknowledge the flaw. Don't glorify it, but don't hide from it either. This is the moment training gets honest. You don't need to max out on every exercise. You just need 1 or 2 sets per movement that actually ask something of you. See what happens when you can't hide behind volume anymore. Most of the time, it's not the sets that are missing from your life, it's the effort. This approach takes a different kind of discipline. It's easy to be disciplined when you're just hanging out at the gym for 2 hours. It's a lot harder to be disciplined enough to make 45 minutes count for more than 2 hours. It requires you to have a system. You don't need motivation to go to the gym for 2 hours when you're bored. You need a system to ensure that every rep of your 2 sets is perfect. You need to manage your recovery. You need to realize that more time just means more time. Results come from intensity. discipline over dopamine. The dopamine hit comes from the pump and that feeling of being busy. The discipline comes from the struggle of that final rep. If 5 sets haven't done much for you lately, stop thinking about adding a 6th. Cut it back, make it hurt, make it matter. This is why it feels harder than it should for most people, because they're trying to build a house by throwing bricks at a pile. We build it one by one, brick by brick. If you want to learn more about the systems I use to balance lifting, running, and life, sign up for my weekly newsletter, The Brick Body Brief. It's where I share the deeper strategies for staying disciplined when the world gets loud. Also, if you know any women who's tired of the fluff and wants to build real strength, follow our sister channel, Brick Lady. Both links are in the description. This isn't about doing less to be lazy. It's about doing less to be better. It's about being efficient so you can be a better man, a better worker, and a better athlete. Brick by brick.